I'm Dr. Jim Taylor, and welcome to Prime Family Alert. This segment of Prime Family Alert focuses on raising happy children. One of the most frequent comments I get from parents is, I just want my kid to be happy. Though an admirable and common objective, happiness is one of the most neglected family values in 21st century America. Few parents grasp the essential meaning of happiness for their children, and fewer still understand how they can help their children find happiness. Parents' efforts at helping their children gain happiness are further undermined by the distorted messages that popular culture communicates to parents about happiness. That happiness can be found, for example, in wealth, celebrity, power, or physical attractiveness. Yet research and anecdotal accounts of people who have these attributes show that pursuit of these false idols can actually cause unhappiness. By understanding how happiness develops, you can help your children find true happiness. The real causes of happiness are all within your children's control, so they can actively do things that foster their own happiness. Self-esteem is a powerful contributor to happiness. Self-esteem gives children a sense of security from which they can engage the world, which enables them to approach life with confidence. Self-esteem also offers children a strong sense of competence, in which they view themselves as able people who can master important aspects of their lives. This faith in their abilities facilitates success, which can then cultivate happiness. It also reduces worry and anxiety, which can of course cause unhappiness. We've all seen children have a great attitude about things. They're positive, optimistic, and hopeful. They see a world filled with sunlight and warmth rather than clouds and cold. These children tend to be happy because they see the glass as half full, meaning they expect good things to happen to them. Children with positive attitudes are also more likely to express gratitude. Children who appreciate the opportunities they're given and convey genuine gratitude to those who help them have been found to be very happy people. Another essential contributor to your children's happiness is a passion for something in their lives, be it writing, soccer, the piano, or another avenue. Passionate children are happy children because there is something in their lives that they absolutely love to do. Children's passions engage, absorb, and thrill them. For example, the reader who savors every word of the book she reads, or the cellist who listens to Yo-Yo Ma for hours on end. Just being involved in any way in the activities for which they have a passion makes them happy. But popular culture doesn't want your children to be passionate about meaningful activities in their lives. It wants your children to connect to things that will never bring them true happiness, but will of course make it more money. For example, video games and shopping. Parents exacerbate this dependence by choosing the expedient route for entertaining their children, that is, handing them over to popular culture, rather than finding activities that engage your children from which they might find a passion. The unhappiest children I work with are those who lead unbalanced lives. They spend most of their time in one activity, and their self-esteem is based largely on how they do in that one activity. The problem is with this devotion to one activity is that things will not always go well. There will be times when children have setbacks and failures, and they'll experience boredom, disenchantment, and frustration. If the one activity is all that your children have to feel good about themselves, you're putting them at risk for unhappiness. Also, popular culture wants your children to be imbalanced. Children see young stars like LeBron James or Hilary Duff and are told by popular culture that they must sacrifice balance and, for example, join that all-star traveling sports team or take piano or dance lessons 5 days a week to become a superstar. Children who are out of balance are at risk of falling over, metaphorically, and becoming very unhappy. Balanced children derive happiness from many outlets. For example, sports, involvement in spiritual or cultural activities, or reading or academics. Children who have balance in their lives will still have experiences where things don't go well, but because their self-esteem is not based solely on one activity, and other parts of their lives bring them happiness, they're still able to maintain their happiness. Popular culture doesn't want your children to be human beings. Instead, it wants to create human consumings, whose primary purpose in life is to spend and acquire. Human consumings buy, and buy in the mistaken belief that it will bring them happiness. You can see and observe ravenous young human consumings every day in the malls, buying clothes and shoes and electronics they absolutely must have. Happy children, though, are human beings, not human consumings. Being involves children finding happiness not in things, but in experiences, relationships, and activities that offer meaning, satisfaction, and joy. The ability to just be grounds happy children in who they are rather than what they own, and gives them control over what brings them happiness. One of the most robust findings in the research on happiness is that people who have strong relationships tend to be the happiest people. The opportunity to give and receive love, friendship, and support from family, friends, schoolmate, and others is essential for happiness. Positive feedback from others, love, respect, encouragement, is the most readily available source of happiness. Social relationships also may reduce stress, increase feelings of security, and generate other positive emotions, all of which, of course, are conducive to happiness. Popular culture doesn't want your children to have healthy relationships. It preys on isolated and lonely children who are desperate for any kind of connection. Children who have good relationships have less of a need for attention, stimulation, and acceptance. They're less vulnerable to appeals from popular culture that may make them feel important or popular. We often look for happiness in the wrong places. We're preoccupied with looking inside ourselves to find happiness, with psychotherapy, meditation, or self-help books to uncover the internal obstacles to happiness. Or people look for happiness outside of themselves in the form of consumerism, drug and alcohol use, or other forms of external gratification. But happiness can't be found down either of those roads. Your children will ultimately find happiness outside of themselves by giving of themselves to others. There's something profoundly nourishing about putting others' needs ahead of our own and helping others find happiness. Giving to others somehow touches us in a very deep way and provides a feeling of meaning, satisfaction, and joy that can't be found elsewhere. In putting their own needs aside to help others, children's own deepest needs are met. I'm Dr. Jim Taylor for Prime Family Alert.